Lots of sun in the sky. Temperatures, they are below seasonal today, but we are going to see a nice big warm up as we get into the weekend, and also lots of sun as well. I'm Michelle Mackey. You're watching the Weather Network. That's where you can find me on Twitter below. I'd love to hear from you. In terms of our temperatures, through the overnight, we are down into the single digits. This, coupled with not much cloud cover and very light winds, is the perfect recipe for frost. So as I mentioned, the winds are going to be quite light through the overnight, but Friday evening still quite breezy coming out of the northwest. But you'll see, not much in the way of winds by any means Saturday through the overnight. They will begin to pick up as we move into the afternoon, sustained around 20. So just a nice light breeze, not enough to discourage us from getting outside by any means. Here's what we can expect Saturday. Temperatures even warmer for Sunday. Ottawa, though, will be dealing with some rainfall, and that's associated with a low that's making its way across parts of northern Ontario and into Quebec. Also going to be bringing some rainfall to Atlantic Canada this weekend. By Monday, though, you will note the rain comes back into play, and that is all thanks to a Colorado low, in other words, a low pressure system that comes from the Colorado area. That moves in Sunday overnight through until Monday, a rain story for Ontario on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon, though, you'll note we still are dealing with some of those green patches, and that means we could be dealing with showers, also some embedded thunderstorms for the afternoon hours. But as we get into Thursday, we will finally see a break. Sunshine expected and temperatures nice and warm as well. Cool, below seasonal, rainy thanks to a low pressure system, but that's going to be clearing out by Sunday. That's right. Great advice. Michelle Mackey, Mike Arsenault with you. We are talking about some flood facts. Flooding is the most common natural disaster, and there was a recent survey that actually put some cities on the good list, some cities on the not so good list. And how can you be prepared?
So first, we're going to start stateside. This is a look at the rainfall saturation across parts of the southern U.S., and this is why we're seeing flooding through parts of Texas and Oklahoma. Just heavy inundating rain throughout the weekend, so the ground's saturated, so the water has nowhere to go.
Back in Canada, the top five bottom cities, that is. Now, lots of C's, C minuses here, a D as well. This must remind you of your high school report card, Mike.
It's not bad, not bad. So there's the 5 cities that are on the bottom of the list. We'll get to the top in 1 second, but first, take a look at this flood video. And here's a look at Michelle's high school report card. But Ottawa, number 1 on the list, an A- in terms of flood preparedness. So how can you be prepared for a flood?
Well, there's a few tips here, a few of which include, you want to make sure your family has a plan. You want to take care of your home. Have an emergency kit as well, Mike.
That's right. So it's just protect your home and have also a battery and wind-up radio as well is a very good idea. Stay with us here at the Weather Network. Take a look at this must-see video.
Rachel, I think that's advice we could all use this time of year. Patio weather, cottage season has begun. I'm Michelle Mackey. You're watching the Weather Network. Temperatures this evening and through the overnight, though, really not patio weather by any means. When we look at the temperatures, single digits. Peterborough 8 this evening, Toronto 9, but watch through the overnight. Things taking a plunge. Barrie -1, Toronto 3 degrees through the overnight. And because we have a clear sky, we do have a frost advisory in place for parts of central and southern Ontario. Take care of your frost-sensitive plants. On 15 degrees, that's my prime running time. So good on you for getting out and enjoying it. This weekend, though, if you like running in the heat, you're certainly going to see that. It's going to remain clear. Checking in on our satellite and radar, you can see we're dealing with some snow through northern Ontario, just east of Timmins, and also into Quebec. Don't worry about that in the south. We're certainly not going to be dealing with that, though we do have the chance of seeing some moisture by Sunday overnight into Monday. More on that through the hour. But as you can see, Friday, that high pressure really remaining strong. It's going to stay in place Saturday as well. And for much of Sunday, the temperature's also going to be on the rise. But you'll note in the bottom of your screen, we are tracking this low. It's a Colorado low, and that's going to slowly make its way into southern Ontario by the time we get into Sunday overnight through until Monday. We could be dealing with about 20 millimeters of rain expected. The National Weather Service has also issued a flood warning for the area. We do have some more rain, the potential of some thunderstorms as well for the area. And as we look where we see the yellows, that's an indication of a higher risk to see those thunderstorms, see the severe weather. And that becomes more widespread, particularly through Tornado Alley as we get into Saturday, into your weekend. Stay with us. Your locals are up next on the 10s. Don't go anywhere.
It's Friday, the weekend is almost here, so we figured we'd try a two-person edition of the things you need to know. Mike and Michelle. Now, generally across the country, Michelle, today, lots of sunshine, warm temperatures, not through parts of Quebec, however.
I want to show you this tweet that we got from Dean. This is a Nain Labrador. Pick number 1, taken on Wednesday of May.
That's right. So it's still going to take a little bit of time until we get into that summer-like weather across Labrador and really across the country this weekend. You'll have a look at your entire countrywide forecast coming up throughout the hour. But we put the call out on Twitter to find out different nicknames for cities across the country. Here's Leanna with more. So we did just that, and we received dozens of responses on social media, starting in the east, of course.
I'm from Peterborough, also known as the Peter Patch. How about you?
And I am from Oshawa, typically known as the Schwa. Your local forecast is coming right up.
Michelle Mackey, Mike Arsenault with you. Here's a look at our developing stories. It's a rainy day in the east.
Now, Michelle, Taylor Swift likes to shake it off. We're going to be talking about Tick It Off coming up later in this segment. Also, memories and more. We'll have a sneak peek at the newest episode of Storm Hunters. But out east, Michelle, the story has been the rain, but that doesn't stop people from working.
We are waiting for temperatures on the rise, and we're going to see a clearing as well by Saturday.
That's right. For Newfoundland, though, very early Saturday, some rain showers. Conditions will clear up once we get into the afternoon. In terms of how much rain, generally 5 to 10 millimeters or so. Areas in dark green, so Halifax and much of the province of Newfoundland, upwards of 20, Michelle.
That's right. So it is going to be a rainy day today, but as we look further to the west into Ontario, high pressure is in place. Saturday, the temperature is also going to be increasing to a much more seasonal value. But then we are watching this Colorado low making its way into southern Ontario, but by the time we get into Sunday evening, overnight into Monday as well.
Now, a lot of sunshine for the weekend. That's going to be good news for southern Ontario. But if you're going to spend some time outside, it's important to be prepared about ticks.
Yeah, it's been quite an active season for ticks. And as we look to BC, we are dealing with some instability through the interior. We have the potential of seeing some isolated, non-severe thunderstorms through the afternoon.
Now, here's a sneak peek of Storm Hunters, Heartache and Hope.
Great day to get out, enjoy the sunshine, maybe go for a run like those brave souls. All right, we are dealing with, as I mentioned, below seasonal temperatures as we move through the overnight hours, downright frigid. We are talking about single digits, even some of the minus single digits. And because we have this in place, we also have relatively light winds, cool temperatures, Ontario through the overnight. If you got ahead of yourself, maybe did your planting last weekend, take care of your frost-sensitive plants, and you might also need the car scraper for the morning hours. But don't worry, temperatures rebounding nicely through the day. In terms of your winds this evening, they are out of the north, quite gusty at times. We could see gusts around 40 kilometers an hour, calming down through the overnight and into Saturday. But as we move throughout the day, by Saturday evening, the wind will pick up again. Certainly won't be as gusty as what we're dealing with today, but you will still feel that breeze. Won't be the worst thing in the world, though, because we are going to be talking about temperatures in the low 20s. You can see Toronto Saturday, 20 degrees, Windsor, 23. Even to the north, we're still feeling some of that heat. Now, Sunday, things are going to be mostly clear. However, we do have a system. It's a Colorado low that's moving in Sunday overnight through to Monday, and that is going to be a big rain story. So get out on Sunday before that happens. Temperatures above seasonal. And the temperatures on Monday, they are going to drop just slightly. So places like Barrie, Sudbury, going to be in the mid to high teens. In terms of how much rainfall we can expect, widespread, looking at about 20 millimeters of rain on the way. And this is all thanks to a Colorado low. That's a low pressure system from Colorado making its way into the south of the province. In behind it, we could be dealing with some embedded thunderstorms as well. And that's going to bring the chance of some isolated embedded non-severe thunderstorms for your Tuesday afternoon, also Wednesday afternoon. And then luckily by Thursday, high pressure moves back into place, so we will see a clearing. Here's what we can expect for the next 7 days, though. It's looking like a great weekend. There's your rainfall on Monday. It's looking like we are going to see a clearing by next weekend. Stay with us. Your locals are next on the 10s. Well, hey, it is the time of year to get the RV ready to head out, and if you're doing so in Western Canada, the temperatures nice and mild for you for the overnight, particularly through the prairies. Winnipeg 16, a bit of unsettled weather through the interior of BC. Quite cool, though, as we look to the east. Toronto, we could be dealing with some frost. Now, as we move into Saturday, the temperatures finally rebounding for central Canada, unsettled in the east, and another gorgeous day for you in Western Canada. Great advice, Rachel, especially if you have plans to find a dock, maybe have a nice cold drink, cold beverage, because this weekend is going to be hot. But before we get there, we do have some frigid temperatures to deal with through the overnight hours. You can see widespread. We're talking about temperatures not only in the single digits. Toronto overnight will be at 1. Seasonally, our overnight lows should be 10 for this time of year. And because we have low temperatures, minimal wind through the overnight, and clear skies, the conditions are ripe for frost. So Environment Canada has issued a frost advisory for much of southern and central Ontario. And that's an indication that you really do need to take in your frost-sensitive plants or cover them. And also you are going to want to have your car scraper ready for tomorrow morning. Now, where in Quebec we see this special weather statement, that is because some weather spotters actually spotted hail. And I hope you didn't take your winter tires off just yet. Maybe if you're a procrastinator, in this case, it's kind of a good thing, because snow in May, not heard of in parts of Quebec, parts of Labrador, and that's exactly what we're dealing with this system. You can see not much in the way of any cloud cover through the overnight. Checking in on our satellite and radar, it is going to remain clear. In fact, for the weekend, high pressure is going to dominate until we get into Sunday overnight through until Monday. Watch the bottom of your screen here and you will slowly see a low tracking in from Colorado. It's quite potent, and that's going to make its way to Toronto by the time, as I mentioned, we get into the start of your work and school week. So temperatures nice before that. Trend that's similar for much of the prairies, thanks to a nice ridge of high pressure building over the west that's really ensuring those temperatures stay warm, lots of sunshine. And if you're doing any traveling to the west this weekend, it's actually going to be approaching 30 for parts of Alberta. It's even going to be warm all the way into northern Canada thanks to this amplified jet stream. A bit of active weather on the east coast, but things are going to be clearing up by the time we get into Sunday. Stay with us.